Thank you, Harvig. Thank you for having us. Thank you for those very kind words. Welcome, everybody. How inspiring it is to see everybody physically gathered together and not locked into little rectangular video screens. This is the real thing, and let's make good use of it today. Harvig spoke just now about the goals and ambitions towards a national collection, and I'm probably not alone in having been drawn into this whole project by the sheer simplicity and ambition of the questions it's asking of us all. Because for probably 30 years now, in different ways, institutions here and elsewhere have been investing gradually, constantly in the digitization of the collections we hold, the very, very diverse kinds of collections that we hold. And that has already proven to be of benefit, of course, to researchers. But there's been a nagging feeling that we're not there yet, that actually we're still in the foothills of what a true digital collections landscape could really mean for our users, our audiences, the people who rely on us, visitors and researchers of all kinds. In other words, how do we build on that investment, an ongoing investment, to truly unlock the potential of what we hold and the work that's been done so far? And you'll hear a lot today, I think, about boundaries and barriers to entry and barriers and boundaries between us all. We're all proud singular institutions, but we're all part of a community, not just a national community, by the way, but an international community. And I'm driven very passionately when we talk about this project about the idea of those barriers dissolving and finding ever new ways to show the value of the treasures that we hold, to open up new diverse forms of research, of course, but also to think about the general public that we, particularly perhaps on the IRO side, serve new audiences, new kinds of communities and community engagement, simply new experiences and knowledge to be gained from what we hold. These are very, very large questions for us. They ask us to question some of our institutional identities, even our national identities, the way we work together. And I think it's a tribute to AHRC and UKRI that the scale of the questions being asked by this project have been matched by an unprecedented £18.9 million investment in this project. Truly a step change, I think, in the seriousness with which the UK is taking questions of cultural heritage in the digital age. And as Hartwig says, it's one of many such initiatives now beginning to come through. It feels like the landscape has changed quite profoundly in the last 10 years. And today's conference is about taking stock of that at this very important point in the project. It's the first time we've had a chance to hold a conference about this project, and really the first time, I think, many of us, even those on the steering committee, have had a chance to reflect on the totality of it. So in the hours that follow in this wonderful theatre and adjacent spaces, I hope we'll be able to highlight some of the many achievements already landed by the different parts towards the national collections, to be honest with each other about the challenges and dilemmas that we're facing, that have already been thrown up by some of the work that's been done, and to get a common sense of ambition about what might come. We also want to get an international perspective, and I'm incredibly grateful to those of you who have come from overseas to this. It has not been an easy journey, but it's absolutely vital that within the nations of the UK, we see ourselves as part of a community of nations globally, not least because so much of the heritage we hold here, we're holding on in trust on behalf of the world. And then we're also going to be thinking longer range, I think, about how an infrastructure for UK digital collections and cultural heritage can be shaped and supported. And then finally, of course, there's perhaps the most important purpose of a day like this of all, which is simply being together. The serendipity of conversations over coffee, having that conversation with someone who maybe you've seen on a screen or read a paper by, but suddenly they're here in person. So please don't miss those crucial opportunities in the gaps, as it were, today, because that's often where the true innovation comes from. And who's here? Well, we have leaders and decision makers from the cultural heritage sector. We have academics, of course, and funders. And it's interdisciplinary. That's the absolute characteristic of TANK, as we affectionately know it. So alongside historians, curators, digital humanities specialists, we have computer scientists, we have archivists, we have community engagement specialists, and many, many more. And again, that's another kind of barrier or boundary that I hope we can gradually soften and dissolve through events like this. And as we speak, I hope we'll always keep two time frames in view, the present and the future. All the projects in their different ways, I think, are helping to bring knowledge and a guidance and an evidence base to support best practice, new practice, that's important for all of us as we run our institutions and academic institutions in the here and now. Let's make this project about continuous improvement. There are always things we can do better, sparks of inspiration that could change practice tomorrow. So please be alert to that. But also we're thinking, of course, longer range. Institutions like this think in decades, in centuries. And we in our generation have a real chance to make a difference for future generations. And so I think we are here to help make the case for the right kind of infrastructure that the UK needs to truly make the most of the incredible collections held not just by institutions represented in this room, but also by countless others, big and small, right across the UK. We want the benefits of this programme to spread in that network effect, which is the digital age at its very, very best. So before the day gets going, I just want to say very briefly a few words of thanks. First of all, and most importantly, Christopher, to you, your colleagues at AHRC, everyone at UKRI who has and continues to support this remarkable endeavour. To the programme director, Rebecca Bailey, who holds this whole project together. To everyone involved in the different projects, to my fellow steering committee members who put in fantastic work in helping to guide and shape what we do, to speakers who've made the effort to contribute to this and in many cases travel a long way, and of course to all of you. And finally, Hartwig, to you and your team to being such welcoming hosts in this fantastic space. We're very, very grateful. So I hope you enjoy the day. In a moment, we're going to get going pretty much immediately with the first session on innovation. But before we do that, if you want to settle back in your seats for 5 or 6 minutes, we're going to unveil a little movie, a little film about what TANK has been up to. So thank you.